Fantasy football podcast called Living the Stream comes to you each week. Streaming recommendations during NFL season, it's not just tongue-in-cheek. Quarterback, defense, tight end recommendations based on opposition matchup. Here are your podcast hosts, JJ Zacharyson and Danny Carter, living the stream.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Living the Stream. I'm JJ Zacharyson, the late round quarterback, and as always, I am joined by my lovely co-host, Denny Carter. Denny, what's going on, brother?
This week's show brought to you, of course, by Celsius, the ultra caffeinated drink you get at 7. My kids get at 7-Eleven and then stay up all night.
Look, no caffeine in this body for the last 5 years, Denny.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You are anti-caffeine. You're without caffeine.
I miss caffeine though. It's only because of health reasons, for the record.
Well, okay. So, but I do think people misunderstand how caffeine works, though. Caffeine simply makes it not impossible. It makes it harder for you to get sleepy. It doesn't actually give you energy.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah. It changes your brain mechanism and what's going on up there.
Right. But people,
there's it's not like sugar.
Yeah, exactly. But people think that if I have caffeine, then I'm boosted, like my energy is up. That's not true. That is totally placebo. In fact, I remember back in the day, we had a soda machine at my high school, and it had Surge. Remember Surge?
I remember Surge. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Any millennial worth their salt remember Surge. And Surge had so much caffeine, I believe it was made illegal or like taken off the shelves. But my classmates used to drink a Surge and be like, yo, man, I'm like messed up on caffeine right now. Like I'm totally effed up. And I'm like, that's not the way this works at all, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Dude, Surge was my brother loved Surge. So we had we had our basement that we would always hang out in. And then we had a fridge in the garage for, when friends would come over. Like we had the friend coming over house.
Oh,
right?
really?
So,
okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had a fridge in the garage that always had freeze pops in the freezer and then pop because it's called pop. It's not called soda in the fridge.
Wrong.
And as people know, we also had some peanut butter M&Ms that I vomited all over the street after doing a race, in my rollerblades when everyone else was, and then I got a cinder block in my knee, or a cinder in my knee. Not a block, a whole block would be something.
I was going to say, how'd you recover from that?
But my brother had so much Surge all the time. He was obsessed with Surge.
Yeah, but it was super caffeinated, and people really felt teenagers used to, in the 90s at least, teenagers used to pretend that they were drunk on caffeine. Which,
yeah.
Not the case. I didn't intend to talk about Surge for 10 minutes to start the show. I did want to start with crediting my lovely co-host JJ with saying something that not many people are brave enough to say in the fantasy industry. I listened to JJ's 15 Trends show.
Oh, 10 Trends episode. Don't mix up 15 transactions and 10 trends here, Denny.
I'm sorry. It was some number of trends. And you said correctly that people should not be viewing Ja'Marr Chase as an every week fantasy option, right?
Oh, dude, it is.
Okay. I just want to make sure I got that right.
I said that you have to take it week by week. This week, I actually don't mind him because they're playing Detroit and he should be fine, right?
But last week.
But last week, I think that, you probably were starting him. And, realistically, the wide receiver landscape, I don't know if you put together wide receiver rankings or if you're doing rankings every week or anything like that. But wide receiver is so horrendous that after wide receiver 8, you're getting to horrific plays,
right.
Legitimately questionable plays now that we're in bye weeks and stuff. So we're even, digging even deeper. I mean, I almost threw up all over my computer putting together the rankings last night.
Josh Palmer is wide receiver 10, if you can believe it.
Yeah, right. That's what it feels like. And so, from that perspective, Ja'Marr Chase is probably going to find your lineup. But, look, he's averaging 11 PPR points per game with Jake Browning as his quarterback. And he's played in 8 games out of the 9 that Jake Browning has started. since when is that like something that we're really confident in playing? Like I said, this week I think he's fine. Like I still have him as like a high-end wide receiver too, I think. But it's bizarre, man. Like I do my rest of season rankings, like my process every week is that on Monday I work on 15 transactions all day and I get that out the door. And then I immediately flip to rest of season rankings, right? And so at night, Monday night, I'm working on rest of season rankings while I'm watching the Monday night game. And when I do my rest of season rankings, I do them and then I compare them to what the rankers over at Fantasy Pros have done. And I'm only looking at the updated rankings. And look, I'm going to be wrong about stuff. These people are going to be wrong about stuff. And the people that I'm comparing them to are friends of mine. Like I see them every year at the expo. But it's been bizarre. And I'll have the conversation with them too, if they want to like have the conversation. It's been bizarre to see them rank Ja'Marr Chase as a top 5 fantasy asset.
Yeah.
Even this, I don't get it. Like to me, if you were to draft, like I look at rest of season rankings generally as like, how would you draft today if you were to redo everything?
That's right.
And where would you take Ja'Marr Chase to? I don't think he's a top 2 round pick right now.
No, it's 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, right. Like he's probably a mid 3rd, like something like top 30-ish player or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I think there's a lot of take lock. I think there's a lot of anchoring going on. And yeah, they've played 2 relatively tough matchups.
Really horrible.
Yeah. So like, I think that things are going to look better against Detroit, which is why I'm not saying like, oh, he's just going to average 11 points per game for the rest of his life with Jake Browning. But yeah, I mean, like we got to be realistic about this stuff.
So, in a 12-team league, you're going to be starting Chase no matter what, because he's a top 36 option easily, right? I mean, that's not in question.
You're starting him this week, yeah.
But in a 10-team league where you only have to start 2 or 3 receivers, I think it gets a little iffy. And I just want to credit you for calling that out, because it's not something, honestly, not something I don't think I've heard anyone say. And I wanted to say it the other day. I was afraid that RotoPat was going to cut my mic, so I did.
The backlash would be there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've really like, I like, for instance, I've had since the mailbag episode that dropped last Friday, and then I sort of like doubled down on it on the 15 transaction show. Like I talked about Travis Etienne being a sell, and in back-to-back shows. And to me, I think that fantasy analysts need to not be afraid of like the backlash, as long as you're open about, yes, I know that this can go in this direction, which is a very good direction. Like I wasn't fading Travis Etienne. Like I think that he's a good player and he's playing really well right now. And this offense is great, but you also should have a foundation and ground yourself with some sort of process with how you're doing your analysis. And to me, that foundation is what this player is doing sustainable to this degree. And the answer with Travis Etienne, in my opinion, is no, because he's averaging over 6 yards per carry right now. He's scored a touchdown in each of his last 3 games. Like the offensive line is really good. The run scheme is really good. Like he's going to be good, but he also has a sub 40% route participation rate. Like he's not running that many routes in that offense. He has a 7% target share. That's not the backbone and the typical archetype and the typical peripherals that we see from an RB1 in fantasy football. So the idea is, if you can sell Travis Etienne for at a top 10 price tag when his peripherals say top 20, then do it and try to get profit off of it.
Top 20, and honestly, top 20 might be generous. It might be.
Yeah, we'll see. And like that's not even talking about Bashaw Tutin, who's looked just as good. Like there's, to me though, like the reason I bring that up is that I think that we need to, as fantasy analysts, like it's really easy. And I feel it all the time, especially, my audience has grown and like I get more people that haven't been around as long and don't really know what my process is like and how I approach things. And like, with those people, I don't have the backbone of like, see, I helped you in the past and therefore, like it's nice to have that, because then people know, like when you screw up, it's like, okay, he's,
he finally got one wrong.
Right.
What they say about JJ.
Yeah, like there was a dude on Reddit this past week who was tagging me over and over and over again about like my takes on my sleeper show this past week, and like I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? Like
that's so annoying.
There's no like, I know I got Geno Smith wrong last week. I'm fully aware, and
everyone did,
and I'm gonna get stuff wrong constantly if you're going to take how many takes do you think you
There's-
produce a week?
So I honestly, for me, I'd say at least 50 like concrete takes
50 concrete takes a week
a week.
during the season. Okay. We're going to get half of them wrong, or, hopefully like 20 of the 50 wrong.
Right.
Right. We want to be,
Still, that's 20 things being wrong that's a lot wrong.
what people need, what you need to understand, you guys now, like the thing with fantasy analysis is a lot of the stuff that we talk about is often on the fringe of the reason we're bringing it up and we're talking about it is because it can go in either direction. A start sit question that someone asks you should be more or less a coin flip because that's why it's a start sit question.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's what is the annoying part with fantasy football to me sometimes is that this is like the stuff that you end up hearing is generally going to be like a 50-50 proposition, which is why I try really hard to more so tell the story and explain the process and the backing of it all, because then we can talk about other things other than just like, here's the decision that you have to make with your fantasy team. But realistically, like we're in front of a camera, in front of a microphone, just getting things wrong constantly with our jobs. Like you don't need to tell. And then there's this idea in the fantasy space right now that like, people get applauded whenever they go out and they say, here's a list of all the things I got wrong.
That's so funny.
It's like, are you just like waiting for people?
Yeah.
Do you love when people are wrong about things so much that you need to, I don't know. Maybe it's just because the other people have ruined it for us because they go around victory lapping everything that they get right.
We've seen it all. We've been around.
I know. I know I just sound like an old man yelling at this point.
No, you are. And that's okay.
It's just interesting to me,
Yeah. We have a commenter who said that the takes, what is it? The takes industry is booming, just like the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I think that what it comes down to is that the fantasy space and the consumer lumps together all fantasy analysts as the same, which I understand because we do that with other industries too. And when reality is one fantasy analyst is way different than another fantasy analyst is way different than another fantasy analyst. And the way that they, approach things, like if someone is going around and like victory lapping everything and putting threads together that are obnoxious and, like just thread broing the crap out of their content. Yeah, I mean, like they probably deserve to get some crap thrown their way whenever they're consistently wrong.
Here's a good example of how tough the takes business is. Okay, I loved Daniel Jones last week. Loved him, and in a pretty tough matchup, right? Because I like the environment, right?
Sure.
Well, look, he almost got there, except for Adonai Mitchell decided to switch hands at the 1 yard line with the ball and fumble it out of the end zone. That cost Daniel Jones, I believe, 7.5 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between being right on Daniel Jones and being wrong on Daniel Jones. And that's just one example, but this is the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of thinking over the last couple of years, and it's really hit me this year that like when someone, again, because I had more draft guide sales, for instance, like more people are consuming the draft guide, and I'm like, oh man, I better have a good draft guide. Oh, Denny's gone. Oh, there you are. Your video went away for a second.
Oh, sorry.
No. So, but it's like, I have pressure that I want to do well because I want to do well in my career and I want to be a good analyst and stuff. But then I had this realization of like, some people are going to read that guide. It could be the best guide in the world, but they just like had the wrong draft, like they took Jamar Chase and then they got, Tyreek Hill, who was pacing. Like Tyreek Hill looked like he was going to be a good pick this year.
He was a good pick.
Yeah. Yeah. And this kind of thing just happened. And so, but the thing is they're going to have a bad team and then that is going to be, blamed on the draft guide, whereas someone's going to have a great team and also blame it on the draft guide. It's just like,
that's funny.
It's just, there are so many different outcomes based on how that one individual team goes where you can't control it at all. All I can do is make sure that the things that I'm saying are being interpreted properly. And, I don't tilt whenever people come at me and they say, hey, on your 15 transaction show, you said that Cleveland was playing at home this week.
Ever heard of a place called Europe?
Yeah, dude, I'm not even kidding. I published that episode. At least 25 different people have hit me up to let me know that Cleveland's not playing at home this week.
I would actually say 25 out of however many trillions of listeners you have. That's actually not bad.
Could be way worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a good little vent sesh to
yeah, we love the people love our venting.
They do like the venting. They do.
They love to hear us be agitated old men. We've been in the just for folks who haven't been around forever. Okay, we've been doing this since 2011, I believe, and so that was the very beginning of fantasy football Twitter. So we've been around since the beginning. We've seen it all, and we get annoyed easily now. So
yeah. I mean, the thing with I don't care. I say it all the time. Look, I got Geno Smith wrong. If you want to just tell me I got it wrong, okay. The result was wrong with Geno Smith.
There's something wrong with Geno.
My thing is people who are on this crusade to call out analysts.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so bizarre to me. It's so, I mean, do it fine. Do it to the analysts who are really, really loud about it and stuff.
So
but
funny.
Why are you doing it? Don't do it to Rich Rebar. You know,
the most process-based, sober analysis dude alive.
Right, relax. You know, chill out. It doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to be that miserable.
And you're gonna be like, "Where's Laporta this week, Reeves?" Relax. I mean, what did you expect? Laporta hasn't been good for 2 years. Give me a break.
For instance, I wrote Zay Flowers up as a player to avoid in my draft guide this year, because I didn't like the ceiling outcome. I understood the floor outcome. So the people who are nuanced and reading the actual blurbs are okay, he doesn't really, really hate Zay. He's just saying that there's other higher upside wide receivers being drafted around him. And then Zay goes off week 1, right? He's been fine since, but not amazing since. But anytime Zay Flowers scores a touchdown, someone will be in my mentions. Hey, remember? Yeah. I wrote it. Of course I remember. Yeah. You don't need to how weird is your life that you're thinking about me in this moment?
So weird. And listen, folks, just generally, there are a lot of people in our society that need to be held accountable, and fantasy football writers are not one of them. Are not among them.
Look, unless there's a clear grift, I'm fine if you want to call out people who are grifting and doing really awful business practices and stuff,
and aggregating stuff, and
right.
Not properly crediting, which happens, which has happened to Rich, by the way. Rich Rebar his stuff has been stolen for a decade or more now.
Yeah. Remember the Juan Elway?
Oh, Juan Elway! Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, but I mean, because he presents it in a way where you can just kind of swipe it. And I don't mean that. That's not an insult to Rich. He presents it in such a sober way.
Yeah,
you can just swipe the stat and then say it's your own. But it's easily caught because it's okay, you didn't come up with that. There's zero chance that you were able to piece together all that context.
Yep.
And then come up with that stat. That's a Rich stat. I knew it from the start.
Yeah. The sad part is that happens more frequently than you would realize. When I started doing the data dump thread a couple years ago, because I always throughout the thread, I'm always per PFF, per next gen stats.
You're good about that. Yeah.
And because it's important to me. It should be important to any analyst or writer. And a couple of years ago, I found out after 11 weeks that my data dump thread was finding its way as an article on a major site, not even a small site. And there wasn't citing it at all. Nothing was cited.
Oh, I'm so mad for you. I didn't know that.
So I went to them and I said, this is really unacceptable. You don't want me to go out public with this. And they stopped.
You were really quite generous with.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Wow. Yeah. That's something. Can I talk about my hat real quick?
Yeah. What is this hat? What's going on here?
It's kind of messed up. It's Chios, CHIOS, Chios Island, Greece. See the Greek flag. And that's where I've been there 3 times now, 2004, 2008, and then 2024. With the kids in 2024, there was the first time in Greece. That's where my father-in-law is from, and it's a remote island. Actually, we had to take a boat from Athens, and it was a 7-hour boat ride. to the
Whoa.
tournament. Yeah.
Was it like a mile, but it just took forever?
Yes, it was 412 feet. No, it was I don't even know how long it was, but it's right next to Turkey.
I couldn't, by the way, I couldn't tell you how long it takes to get places in a boat.
I don't know.
Distance wise, like I couldn't tell you.
It felt like we were not moving. But I guess we were.
Yeah. That's cool though. That's really cool. I'm glad you guys got to take that trip. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. You never know like when you'll be able to do that next, especially with the whole family. I mean, there were like 18 of us.
Yeah.
Who went, and it was a great time. But anyway, yeah, my Hios hat, got it on today.
Very cool. All right, let's look at week number 4. We had a pretty good week last week, despite Geno Smith only scoring 10 points. Matthew Stafford had 27. Sam Darnold had 16. Jackson Dart had 20. Carson Wentz had 21.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Wentz was having a horrible. I was watching that game. My brother was in town because his daughter had a soccer game in the area. And we were watching the game, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh man, I liked Carson Wentz as a streamer this week. And then he just got garbage time galore. Like he just went nuts.
I saw the fourth quarter, and I thought, oh, this is nice. I'm sure he was doing fine before this.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 21 points for Carson Wentz. Then Bryce Young and Deep Sleeper had 10. Cole Kmet had 7.6. Tommy Tremble had 15. Jake Tundras had 14.8. Kate Otten, 3.9.
Let's go.
Aronde Gatson, 3.6. We didn't really love Gatson, though. Chig Okonkwo, that Tennessee offense.
I feel like you can't play anyone.
You can't. Maybe Iamaner, like maybe. And obviously Pollard just because of volume, but like even Pollard, he's another player where I'm like, why are people so, whenever I do my rest of season rankings, why are people so high on Tony Pollard? He's not doing anything right now, and Tajay Spears is about to come back.
That's right. Oh, can I tell you some pain? I have Lamar in a super flex league. I took him 2nd overall. He's out.
Yeah.
I got to replace Lamar with freaking Cam Ward.
I'm doing the exact same thing in a league.
It's over.
It's in RotoPat's league, is the one Roto World one that he does.
I can't win.
If you're not in. You never do he did like a Roto. He started a few years ago.
Oh, it's a dynasty.
No, it's a regular. It's a regular.
This is awkward. I've never been invited.
No, you definitely have. It was just a while ago whenever he did. Chig Okonkwo, though, 1.4. Defense, pretty good. Washington only had 2. That's not good. The Rams had 7. The Patriots had 11, and Arizona had 5. So could have been worse on defense. But I think overall, pretty good week.
Yeah, all things we'll go with it. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to week number 5. Denny, I'll kick things off.
Okay.
I'll go quick. Quarterback Matthew Stafford. Pretty like similar-ish kind of situation as last week, with maybe not the back and forth potential in the game, which is a little bit scary. Because do you think Brock Purdy is going to play tomorrow?
No, I don't. I
don't either.
I think it's Mac Jones. And by the way, Mac Jones has a knee issue, so I don't know what's going on. What's going to go on if he?
How is every 49ers player hurt except for Christian McCaffrey?
It's like a gag. It's like a bit.
It's a bit. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
It really is. But the Rams have a 26-point implied team total. It's an average matchup on paper. They're in a dome. Yeah. And like I said, I'm a little bit worried about the back and forth, but 26-point implied team total, you're going to stream a quarterback with that kind of team.
Yeah, he's you could do worse, is what I would say.
You could definitely do worse.
I have Tua against the Panthers, 45-point total in this game. Dolphins are somehow 1.5 point underdogs. That's horrific for the Dolphins. Panthers are allowing the 3rd highest adjusted yards per attempt this season. They're pressuring the passer at a league low rate of 16%, and they are allowing the 6th highest completion rate this year. So Tua is in play despite Tyreek being out. Can we talk about just real quick Tyreek's weird reaction? Yeah,
it was pretty weird, wasn't it?
Clapping, saying, I think he said something, I'm out, or thank you, or something. I mean, he's mouthing these words very clearly.
I think he's just a really like high energy person, and he just didn't know how to
process
what was going on. And I also think that he probably is at the point in his life and career where he's like, I needed a sign or something. Because like he could be done. Like his career might be over.
It might be. But I mean, he's wanted out of Miami for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the way I interpreted it is him being like, see y'all suckers later. Like, I'm done here. Like, thank God I never have to play here again.
Thank God my knee came off of my body.
I mean,
and then they came back from commercial and they showed it in slow motion.
Oh, I know. What is that? I felt like, I mean, I remember Alex Smith talking about his leg injury, and they actually said like it would be best if we amputated it.
Yeah. I mean, he had real. I mean, you could. His flesh was gone in that. It was bad.
And I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, are they gonna have to do this to Tyreek? Like, but anyway, without him, I think Tua will be fine against the Panthers, despite Tyreek's leg almost coming off.
I think I like the other three quarterbacks though that we're talking about today more than Tua. Because I think the question would be Sam Darnold, who I'm going to talk about.
Oh, I see Darnold as like the top option.
Yeah, I think Darnold, you know, it's a game that could be back and forth potentially. You know, with the Buccaneers, the way that I see it, and I was looking at the data, like it's kind of above average, like the matchup across the board. It's not like amazing, and like, you know, it's not Dallas, but it's above average across the board. There's the Bucs have actually been pretty good at generating pressure. That's probably the only downside, but they've been an above average match. Pace is above average. You know, the team total is good. It's almost 24 points. So I like Darnold this week in this matchup.
Pass funnel. Bucs are a pass funnel. So could be a little bit more volume. Jackson Q Dart, the fifth, against the Saints. Oh man, I saw a clip of Dart giving a locker room speech after that win against the Chargers, and there was a clip of Russell Wilson. Have you seen this?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, just staring at him.
And Russ doesn't look happy. Poor Russ is what I'd say.
I'm not gonna be sad about Russ.
He's down pretty bad. I mean, look, he
got benched. He got benched.
I know, and you know what? He made the most out of his career. He was never good, but he made a lot of money, and that's good. That's good for him. This Giants Saints game has a total of 40.5 points, but really we're interested in the rushing for Jackson Dart. Yeah. He had 10 rushes for 54 yards and a touchdown in week 4 against the Chargers. I think I counted five design rushes. So that's
I think 5 or 6. And then he had like 3 scrambles, and then he had a kneel.
Not 6 or 7. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Why are you doing this? Why are you making this part of the podcast?
I don't know, man. I can't stop. The Saints are allowing the second highest quarterback rating this year. I just came across that. Got to share with people. And then, the Giants, I just want to mention, super run heavy. -9% pass rate over expected last week. So I think we should expect more of that here.
Yeah, I mean, when you can run Cam Scatterbo 25 times for 15 yards, you got to do it, you know?
Scatterbo. I mean, the guy's a meme, but
he's a meme, but it's fun. I mean, it's good for football for sure.
Vibes are good.
Yeah, the vibes are great. Right. All right, let's go on to the tight end position. I'm gonna call it right now. I think Harold Fannin has an awesome week this week.
Okay.
Like I think Harold Fannin could go like 10 for 72 in this game.
Man,
peppered with looks, just PPR option. So get this. So Cedric Tillman out. Okay. Isaiah Bond, who I actually liked as a prospect. He's just an off the field nutcase. But he is going to start. But I think they're going to deploy a lot of 12 personnel. Right. And we saw last week they started to do that. And Harold Fannin ran more routes than David Njoku for the first time this year.
I saw that. Yeah.
And so we get Minnesota this week, a team that can obviously generate some pressure and do well up front. And that's going to be bad for a rookie quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. He's going to need that outlet pass and those quick looks to Harold Fannin, who is that player of the 2 tight ends. Like that's what Harold Fannin does. But also I think Fannin's going to be their slot guy. And because they don't have that player.
They don't.
And Minnesota, Denny, ranks for I track adjusted slot target share allowed. So it looks at target share allowed to the slot and it adjusts it for how the teams that they've faced target the slot.
Wow, that's a cool stat.
And Minnesota ranks first in that metric.
Oh, yes.
So things just like are coming together for Harold Fannin to catch like 90 balls in this game.
Let's go. At least 90 catches. You heard
I
it here,
think
folks.
like maybe like an 80 catch performance from Harold Fannin this week.
Baseline, we're working at 80. We're hoping for 90. Dylan Gabriel's going to be way better than Flacco. Let's be real about that. Like
he might.
I mean, he's a quick passer. Flacco is not, whatever he is, he's not a quick passer. This guy just stands back there, pats the ball. I think Gabriel knows the drill. He knows what's being asked of him, which is to drop back 3 steps and let it rip. Yeah. And what does that mean? That means a lot of short stuff. That means, I guess, a lot of running back reception or targets, and then Harold Fannin season.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's an ugly game, but I think it's a fun matchup.
I'll start. I have 22 tight ends, so I'll start with
6 tight ends or like 7 tight ends to talk about.
So many. Darren Waller. Yeah, Darren Waller against the Panthers. First game action of the season in week 4. He ran a route on 12 of the Dolphins' 30 dropbacks. It's not great, but what was great is he was targeted on 33% of those routes, including 3 red zone targets. Is he going to see 8 targets here? No. Is he a big man who is going to see some end zone looks? Yes. And so that could be worse.
Yeah. I would honestly say about that play, Denny, I would honestly say that
you can do worse.
There you go.
Took me a minute to find the clip. Brenton Strange, just a solid play. I wouldn't call it a strange play. I'd call it a solid play for Brenton Strange. 15th in route share this year, 17% target share. Just like he's getting used and he's fine as like a high end tight end too. Kansas City's not a great matchup, but they could be in a negative game script, maybe throw the ball a little bit more. He's fine just based on usage.
There you go. Aranda Gadsden, the 9th, is playing the Commanders this week. The Chargers have a 25.25 implied total. It's the 5th highest of the week. We like our tight ends in those kind of environments. Last week, Gadsden ran around on 43% of the Chargers dropbacks. Over the past 2 weeks, he has a target per route run of 30%. He got an end zone target, apparently, per my spreadsheets. And he's running about 53% of his routes from the slot. It's not a bad little job for the tight end. I will say, if Will Dissly's active, maybe all bets are off here.
Yeah. Mason Taylor, who, by the way, we played each other in the LTS Listener League this past week, and I won by a slim margin, and you had Tyreek Hill, and I did feel a little bit bad about it.
And who else? Tell the people who I benched.
Oh, you benched Kenneth Gainwell, didn't you?
So I was on my way back from Busch Gardens, you see, and for some reason the NFL has a 9:00 a.m. Eastern time game. And so
Why were you at Busch Gardens coming back from Busch Gardens at 9 a.m?
It's a good question. I'm glad you asked. I went there on Saturday morning. We stayed all day. We walked approximately 12 miles, and then we slept at a nearby hotel. Me and the kiddos, and then we headed back. And I got home to see that, oh my God, Gainwell had gone off on every one of my benches. I lost in Apex because of that. I lost in LTS League. I lost in.
That's frustrating.
I lost in my ESPN League with Matthew Berry and the guys. Oh my God, it was honestly, it was the worst.
That's actually one of the most tilting experiences you can have in fantasy football. No, I feel even worse. But yeah, I also started Mason Taylor against you in that game.
I saw, and when you had him in, I was like, this guy is too much. It's too much. He thinks he's too smart. And then Mason Taylor goes off.
Mason Taylor, he gets Dallas this week. They've been okay against tight ends, actually, just because everyone else, like every other position, just dominates them. But the defense is terrible. Mason Taylor's the number 2 target, essentially, in this offense at this point, which we kind of expected to happen, at the start of the year. He just had a slow start first couple of weeks. But his route participations, he's been over 70% every week this season. In the last 2 weeks, he's had target shares of 17% and 26%. Could be a pass-heavy script for them. I like Mason Taylor is a sleeper. Isaiah Davis is a sleeper this week. This is a very big JJ sleeper running back week because I love Sean Tucker when he came out and he might get some run. I loved Isaiah Davis when he came out. He might get some run.
Davis is good.
I wish I was obsessed with Michael Carter because it would just make everything great right now.
I used to be, just so everyone knows.
There we go. There's going to be 3 University of North Carolina running back starters in the NFL this week. You get you get Javonte Williams and Michael Carter back on top again, and then you get Amari and Hampton in LA.
That is crazy, especially because at one point it looked like the NFL should simply stop drafting players from North Carolina.
That's right. We just need Giovanni Bernard to come out of retirement, man.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Am I next?
Yeah, you're next.
K. Dotton, playing against Seattle. Here's the thing. He's out there 82% of routes last week against the Eagles. He saw 2 targets, targeted on 11% of his routes. The one saving grace here is that this could be a back and forth situation. And also the tight end position is seeing a league high 10 targets per game against the Seahawks. So you could do worse, maybe.
Man, I'll tell you what, K. Dotton, no person in football gets more cardio than K. Dotton. Cardio Cade is in full force right now.
He's in great shape, and you have to respect that.
You do. I think that you have one more.
I have Thomas Tremble, the third, against the Dolphins. 58% of the routes last week with Jatavian Sanders out. Sanders is out again this week. Tremble was targeted on 32% of his pass routes last week, which is good. 7 targets, 5 catches, and a touchdown. Tight ends are averaging about 8 targets per game against the Dolphins.
There's some players where you say their real name and it sounds really off, and Thomas was sounded really weird with Tremble. I also, some of my buddies, we always talk about how funny it is whenever like you have a first and last name that are one syllable, like John Wall.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you act like an announcer and you say Jonathan Wall, like you do it like that. And I thought of one this past week because we always try to think of like different players and stuff like that. I realized another one, Zachary Ertz.
Oh, that's weird,
right? Isn't it weird? Yeah, that made you actually
weird.
like felt shocked there whenever I said that.
Wow. Yeah, Zachary. Oh man. I mean, I've never even considered that. I'm completely rattled.
I never thought that was his name until last week. I didn't really realize it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to defense. We got another 5 for you. Browns, Vikings. We got to hope that Myles Garrett plays because he's not practicing today, but it's Wednesday, so we'll see.
Yeah.
What happens there. The Vikings are below average at allowing pressures to the quarterback position, and they also are banged up in the offensive line. They got hurt this past week, even more hurt against Pittsburgh. And Cleveland's good defensively, and they're also 6th in the league in pressure rate. I think the Browns are a fantastic play, especially if Myles Garrett ends up going.
Diego Lopez in the chat points out that Jackson Dart's full name is Jacksonville Dart. So that's,
Jacksonville Dart.
I do appreciate that. We want to be very accurate on this podcast. The Cardinals against the Titans. I mean, this is like a slam dunk. And anytime you can stream against the Titans, honestly, just look at the Titans schedule and just try to get the teams that are playing Tennessee. Arizona's an 8.5 point home favorite. Cam Ward, 9% under his expected completion rate this season. That's the worst in the league. 22% of his attempts have been deemed bad throws. Bad, very bad. The only worst quarterback in that category this year is Michael Penix.
I'm looking right now, and actually, it looks like Cleveland is the best offense for opposing defenses, according to adjusted fantasy, like when you adjust for strength of opponent and stuff. Cleveland's giving up 7 to 8 more points than expected to opposing defenses, which is absolutely nuts. Tennessee is next with 4 to 5.
Okay.
So they're, or maybe there's there's another. Cincinnati is also really bad because of that game against Minnesota. Basically.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something now and I totally forgot. Go ahead. All right, you're up.
All right. We'll go Colts Raiders. No major pressure rate advantage here, but Vegas has a 20.5 point implied team total. The pace score in this game is pretty low. I do a little sheet for my Discord every week where I have a pace score and stuff and like have like a pressure rate map and stuff like that I just throw out there. So pace score is just how fast these teams play. And it's pretty low. The Raiders are top 5 as an opponent in adjusted points allowed. So I think the Colts are fine. Not my favorite because I think there's a lot of good options this week. I'd probably put them like 4th or 5th on this list of 5.
There's something wrong with Geno, and I wanted to point this out real quick. Geno, his on-target rate is usually like at the top or very near the top of the league. It's 68% this year. That's the second lowest in the NFL. Weirdly, the only guy that's been worse is Justin Herbert. So,
oh, wow.
Who do I have? Giants playing the Saints. Spencer Rattler being forced hopefully into a pass heavy script. I think this could be a fast paced game. If I'm not mistaken.
Pace scores high. Pace scores high.
There you go. There you go. And that I like that because I want Spencer Rattler dropping back as much as possible and letting it rip. So Giants are okay. I'd prefer certainly the Cardinals over them.
You could play the Saints too if you're really desperate.
Yeah, sure. Jackson Dart is going to make some.
I just think that they're going to be probably pretty run heavy and conservative and annoying from that perspective. But I think they're not going to be one of our streamers, but in a desperation mode, you could play them.
Sure.
The Rams are the last one. I mean, if Mac Jones plays, the Rams have one of the best pressure fronts and pressure rates in football. They're 7-point favorites. They're at home. They're playing Mac Jones, who evidently, according to Denny, and only yell at Denny if he's wrong, has a bum knee. I mean,
he couldn't practice last week.
Yeah, right. This is a great spot for the Rams. I mean, the 49ers are just banged up everywhere, and that's why the Rams are huge favorites right now. So, really good spot for LA. All right, Giants, Rams, Browns, Cardinals, Colts, Cade Otton, Aronde Gatson, Darren Waller, Mason Taylor, Tommy Tremble, Brenton Strange, Harold Fannin, Tua Tagovailoa, Sam Darnold, Jackson Dart, and Matthew Stafford. Denny, let's get to these questions. I got some on Twitter. I'll start there.
Okay.
We'll start, obviously, with Steak Knife Ob.
Oh, of course, the Hall of Famer.
How often do the bed sheets at your house get washed? My wife insists on doing it weekly, and it just feels unnecessary to do it that often.
Weekly? No way, dude.
Weekly is way too much, in my opinion.
Weekly is, I mean, I don't have the capacity to do that.
No.
Weekly.
Do you have cleaning people come to your house?
Once a month.
Okay, so we do every other week, and that's when we do we switch the sheets.
I would say we wash our sheets once every 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's probably. I would assume that's pretty normal.
Yeah, it's probably gross. I'm sure someone will be like, "Well, that means that
someone's definitely gonna say, oh, you actually have to change it every other day."
Yeah, or you'll have bed bugs and cancer. Yeah. So, it's a lot. It's a lot to do, and I'm okay sleeping in slightly disgusting sheets if that's what it takes.
Germs, the Germ says, what does that sheet budget look like? I actually replace my sheets. I get new sheets, brand new sheets every 2 weeks. I buy brand new ones. I never use them again. I don't use we don't have a washer dryer. We just get new clothes. Thanks to the patrons. That's
what you do when you need new tires for your car. You just get a new car.
Yeah, you just get a new car. Why would I bother with tires, guys?
It's easy.
Next question at Rookmatic. I saw an Instagram reel the other day that said sleeping on your back is bad for you and sleeping on your side is really bad for you. Simultaneously, my wife was telling me that she heard sleeping on your stomach is terrible for you.
What are you supposed to do?
Is sleeping being legislated out of everyday life?
What are you supposed to sleep like a bat hanging from the ceiling? What's the other option? There's no other option.
There's no other option. This is the same thing with diet culture. The same thing happens where they're like, actually, don't eat fruit because there's too much sugar in fruit. Actually, don't eat vegetables because there's not enough protein in the vegetable. Like, shut up. Shut your mouth.
Shut up.
Seriously, shut up. You need to shut your freaking mouth.
I cannot deal with my computer telling me that my coffee is killing me and I shouldn't be eating apples. Like, I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm good with my coffee and my daily apple. It's okay. It's okay that like not every single thing is like a superfood. It's okay. I'm okay with that.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
I mean, but the thing is, the key is having a little bit of all of that.
Just have a little bit of everything.
So if you're eating, I don't know, if you're a weirdo who's only eating broccoli every day, yeah, you're going to be missing something in your diet. Yes, that's true.
Right. Next question. At Fantasy Ladder, now that it is October, I tend to shift into the horror genre of entertainment. Do you have any recommendations, classic or obscure or welcome? By the way, I left this because you would, I know are waiting to answer this. Anything by Mike Flanagan and the Babadook. Is that right? Is that how you say it?
Babadook, yeah.
Babadook. Is that a movie about like a book or something like that? Do you know about it? I don't know if you know.
I saw it years ago.
Like a kid's book.
I think it's the movie itself is about like a kid dealing with divorce and in the form of like.
It was something kid. Okay, there was a kid in it and stuff. Yeah. But anything by Mike Flanagan and the Babadook have become more recent favorites of mine, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Welcome to Derry at the end of the month, is what he said.
Okay. So I'm not going to take up too much time here.
Forward to it. Welcome. Okay. Now I see what it's saying.
Okay. Diego Lopez in the chat actually does have a couple really good recommendations in the movie Hereditary. Is it? I thought it was Heredity. Anyway. And then Midsommar. Midsommar is, I think, the only horror movie that takes place almost exclusively in the daytime and is so scary it actually made me afraid to like go upstairs afterward. Like truly like viscerally terrifying. That's not really in my old age, JJ, not my thing. I don't really like to be that scared. I like more like the cheesy stuff.
Like goofy. Yeah.
And yeah. You know what I'm doing? On Friday, I'm taking Xavier to see Friday the 13th Part 3 in movie theaters.
How many parts are there? How many Friday the 13th are there?
It depends on who you ask. But
give or directors and stuff.
Different canons, different what do you call it? Timelines. 12, give or take. Anyway, we're seeing that. As far as Halloween movies go, I recommend this every year. Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is a really excellent, really well done movie based on a graphic novel. It came out in like 2007. Check that out. And then my personal fave, Halloween 3. If you're expecting Michael Myers in it, not in it, but still watch it.
There you go. Next question. I Am Groot, 2001. When getting into this space, how much thought did you give to how your name would be presented? Basically, did you ever consider using your given full name?
I started with CD Carter.
Yeah. You're just Denny now? Like that? Do you ever do CD?
In like 2021, I just switched to Denny because I was tired of doing the CD thing. Because that's not how I don't go by that. I've never introduced myself as CD Carter. I'm not an alcoholic author in 1922, you know? Right. So I did see, you know, and that's my handles. It was my handle on the X platform, CD Carter. And I did that mostly because I wanted to have like a writer's name. But after a while, I just got tired of it and I was like, I introduced myself as Denny. I'm just going to go by Denny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going by my name. I've never been called my formal name in my life. I've literally been JJ my entire life. So I just went with it. Part of me wishes I wish no one knew my name at times. I wish I just had a random name that I could just walk away.
No, what do you mean? You mean career-wise?
Yeah, I mean, just give me like a, like
John Smith,
like Ronald Speaker.
Ronald what?
I don't. Just a random name, and no one would.
Dave Johnson.
No one would find my information and stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. There's just stuff like that the older I've gotten too, like I rarely share stuff about my family on Twitter and stuff. Like I have a private Instagram account and whatnot, but like, that's where I share my family stuff and like Facebook or whatever. Like it'll just go to Facebook. But yeah, I mean, like I don't need to. I'll tell stories and stuff, but I don't need to share. Yeah. The internet's just weird.
Yeah, being a semi-public figure is weird sometimes. It can be a little disturbing. By the way, just talking about Instagram, and I know family stuff comes up on this podcast a lot since we're old dads. I would say this: don't fall if you're a parent who has a kid who wants an Instagram account and you're interested in this Instagram for kids. Don't fall for that, man. Don't fall. That's a trick. Like that stuff is still super messed up. It still drags them to like really harmful content. Yeah. So just look into it powerfully before you say, yeah, you can have an Instagram kids account, no problem.
Next question at mhammer43. We know JJ would win in leg wrestling. Who would win in a golf match? And when is the LTS Ryder Cup listener event? The people need this injected in their veins. Okay, Denny would beat me in golf for sure. Not even close.
If I didn't, I would actually leave the country.
Yeah, you would beat me in golf.
And this has nothing to do with you. I put a lot of time into golf. So.
Yeah, I haven't played in 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you played in high school and stuff. And I've played since middle school. It was never like my, main sport and stuff. But did you watch the Ryder Cup?
I watched two days of it.
I have to say, this is not hyperbole. I don't think I've ever watched a sporting event and been more frustrated. Frustrated is the word. Number one, that course was so dumb. The way it was set, the setup this is I'm a casual golf viewer. Like I know the PGA well, like I know the golfers well and stuff. And I can talk about golf, but the whole tournament just became a putting contest.
Yeah, it did.
They were just hitting every green in regulation. Like it was just dumb. Like there were no tough iron shots. It seemed like.
You know what it was? The greens. So they had torrential downpours in that area in the days before the tournament, and I think it softened up the course so much that it became basically like a dart throwing contest from the fairway. If you were on the fairway, you could just stick the ball wherever.
Just everything. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really not the way it should play. I mean, if you watch like majors, these guys really have to negotiate how hard and fast these greens are.
Yeah, of course.
They didn't have to do that at Bethpage. I do want to say, I mean, I don't want to get too much into like how embarrassing the fans were because that was an atrocity.
Yeah, that was really bad.
If I had to play in an atmosphere where someone is yelling at me as I'm trying to swing or putt, I would completely emotionally collapse.
Yeah.
I could not tolerate it. I don't know how these guys did that. It's amazing.
I mean, there was the one where the guy was talking junk to Rory and he stuck it 2 feet from the hole. And I'm just like, I mean, like, say what you want about, I know that Rory can be polarizing and people like don't like how cocky he is at times and stuff. And it's like, but my God. Unbelievable.
That was crazy good.
Unbelievable.
I mean, you have to like every great athlete has to be cocky. I mean, you can't. I guess Scotty Scheffler is the difference there. I will say that the Ryder Cup means so much to these guys that even Scotty Scheffler, who honestly doesn't look like he gives a damn about winning like the British Open, like he literally just looks like he does not care. Yeah. And he said that in press conferences. He's like, yeah, I mean, I won, but like, what does that mean?
Yeah, like he had that 1 6-minute, like sort of rant where he was just kind of going on and on, like string of thought that he was talking about.
It was an existential meltdown.
But it was really, I mean, it was well crafted. Like
it was.
Yeah.
But he was crying during his post round presser on Sunday.
Well, he also kind of played like not great.
He played like S, obviously. Yeah. But he did win that match against Rory. Anyway, what I'm saying is the Ryder Cup means so much to these guys, and that's cool to see. I will say.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's cool to see. Like, I mean, I think that the Europeans care about it a lot more than the Americans. Just
you think?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know, man. I feel like anybody would have like sawed their arm.
There were some dude. There was some guy. I mean, like I think Bryson was JT obviously is all like loves it, but like Morikawa, like, do you really think that he's like? I know that he's a level-headed dude, but it's like
Morikawa does not have any dog in him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I think that was kind of the problem of this team. Yeah. And that and Keegan just not changing anything on Saturday was absurd.
Oh man.
Absurd.
He was a terrible captain.
Absurd. People forget this is a golf podcast. They do forget. All right. Next question. At C2_2_. Thoughts on dudes who want to talk while at the urinals?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, you got to, I mean, ban them from every establishment.
I call the police. I don't know. I mean, first of all, I'm going to be real with you guys. I need to concentrate. When I'm in that environment with a bunch of dudes walking around me, I need to focus on what I'm doing and get out of there. And I'm not going to be able to focus if someone asked me if I saw the game last night. You know?
We don't need to have a conversation. I don't know you. Even if I know you, I don't want to talk to you.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you. We don't need to. We don't need that.
I have a question here.
Go.
from patron Mallory Stark, friend of the show. Do you have a piece of advice someone gave you in the fantasy space that changed how you thought of or approached your job? I once had a manager at a restaurant look at me during a particularly stressful service and say, quote, Mallory, it's just dinner. It completely changed my stress level and how I approach the job. I haven't had a moment like that. But over the years, when I get too bogged down in the minutia of statistical stuff, I try to remember, like, I need to peel back and like focus on like the bigger picture of what's happening with this team or this player, and not base my rankings or base my takes on like this little tiny stat that I got from, hours of grinding. Yeah. So I think zooming out is one way to be like, oh yeah, it doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah. I don't know if I've gotten like direct advice either. It's more so just been from working with people and like witnessing people doing things and not doing things, that and like trial and erroring and what like you feel comfortable with as like an analyst yourself. Like the thing that I always try to tell people is like double down and do what you know that you're good at, and don't do things that you don't like doing. Like I don't like doing television. I don't want to do TV ever. I hate it. I've done it. I hate it. I don't want to do it. And that's I'm not going to, I think that, it's the stay in your lane mentality, but it's not stay in your lane as in like, you can't have feelings. It's the stay in your lane as in like understand what you can offer people and try to do that thing while also being humble in what you know, what you don't know, And so,
yes,
that's kind of how I've approached a lot of what I do.
It's like a Rumsfeldian, like there are known unknowns.
Yeah.
And that's,
yeah. Okay. I mean, look, I feel like lucky in a way, but also, not, because it could have gone in a really bad direction. But I grew up as a fantasy analyst. Like I had spent the entirety of my 20s doing this, right? And like I'm a completely different person as I was 10 years ago. And so, it's cool that there have been people that have been around this entire time to see my growth as just a human, becoming a dad, getting married, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I've had to make errors and be and do make mistakes and do things that I regret in terms of how I like approach something or talk to somebody on the internet or stuff like that out loud.
Yeah.
And that, I think, also just by like trial by fire, you just slowly kind of realize what works and what doesn't for you and your mental health, and that
right.
I've gotten to a good place the last like 3 or 4 years. I think people who probably like listen to this show or any other show I do probably have like sensed that, but eventually you kind of just become content of like what your place is within all of this and like what you learned.
You make mistakes and then you learn. It is simple and yet effective, I think.
Yeah.
I have another question here from patron named Denver Dude, friend of the show, obviously. Have you ever pretended to this is good. Have you ever pretended to wash your hands in a public restroom because the room was so gross that you didn't want to touch anything, but you also didn't want anyone to think you weren't washing your hands? It says, I, for one, am guilty of this. Can anyone else confess to this so I could feel better about myself? Listen, Denver Dude, I've done it. I've done that because men's bathrooms can be so freaking disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That here's what happens. I go up and I get my hands wet, and then I go for the soap and there's no soap. And at that point I'm out. I'm not going to pursue any kind of soap from that point. I'm not going to the next sink. I'm not going to wait for some dude to wash his hands. I'm out. And so, yes, I've done a version of that, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you know that you're in a bathroom environment that you can't touch things and stuff, you definitely can't just bolt, because then everyone knows you as the guy who's got some slop on his hands, And so you gotta at least do the pretend thing. And when you hit, and hopefully it's like a button that you hit or something for the faucet to start instead of the twist, because then you can kind of just use like the side of your hand or like an elbow or something to kind of get it going. And then you're not having to touch anything. But yeah, I think every person has gone through something like this before.
I think I've mentioned this before. I have a lot of trouble starting the auto syncs.
Oh yeah, they're not good. They're not good.
Like sometimes I'm like, wait, am I a ghost? Like, did I die years ago and I'm trying to wash my hands and this thing's not sensing?
Sense.
Like, yeah, right? Like, oh, okay, I'm dead. I'm in the afterlife.
I've been doing this podcast with someone else this entire time.
Right, someone else who's dead. We're all dead, it turns out. Yeah, but when I say that, I'm calm right now, but I'm irate when it's happening. Like I've never been more mad in my life when the thing won't turn on, when I'm waving my hand like a maniac in front of it, you know.
Sure. All right, you want to do one more?
Yeah, do you have one?
Sure. We can go to Blue Sky real quick. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Actually someone said no, we won't do that one. Okay, yeah, we do need to talk about this. At R4mate, okay? What can be done about the epidemic of every actor/actress having frozen face? I saw something recently where the actress' father died and was supposed to show emotion, and they looked like they were trying to bluff in a poker game. It's really bad. Did you, by the way, look, I'm not one to it's not like I have the prettiest face in the world. Yeah, did you see Tony Romo this past week?
Oh my God. I did. And it's not good. Whatever's happening.
What's going on? Why do people do this?
My dad was over for the early games and he sees Romo and he goes, who's that with Nance? I said, Dad, that's Romo. I mean, my dad knows Tony Romo. Okay, my dad doesn't know a lot, but he knows Tony Romo.
Of course.
And I go, that's Romo. And he goes, no, the guy next to Nance. I said, it's Romo. He said, that's not Tony Romo. I mean, he actually rejected the fact that was Tony, and then he finally was like, wow, he looks like hell. I mean, so he got this thing, right? I mean, he got some sort of thing.
I think he might have gotten like a Botox, and but he looked like the Tin Man.
It really horrific.
I don't understand if it was it a promotion for Wicked? Like I didn't.
He couldn't move his face.
He couldn't move his face. It was just completely like bronzed up. I don't understand why people do this. I don't really get it. Just age. It's okay.
Well,
just age.
The thing is, though, it's like, who do we blame? Do we blame ourselves? Because like it's the cultural pressure that makes these people pursue these horrific.
Of course we blame ourselves. It's definitely us.
Okay. All right. Then we got to the bottom of it real fast. It's your fault. It's my fault. It's the listener's fault.
It's all of our faults. Yeah. It's just like, crazy. Like I wish people would be okay with aging.
I know. No, truly. I saw a commercial today with Ellen DeGeneres and I believe her partner, and they were selling some sort of anti-wrinkle cream, and like Ellen's old, and she was like bragging about not having any wrinkles, and I'm like, it's not good. It's not good that no one gets older. Everybody's frozen in time now. Like I see Jennifer Aniston on these water commercials, and she looks like she did in 1998.
Right. And then you look at your grandparents when they were even your parents' age.
Yeah.
I mean, when my grandpa, rest his soul, when he was 65 years old, he looked like a current day 95-year-old.
Right. I was going to say into your 90s.
Easy.
I thought my grandmother, when she died when I was young, I thought she was 100 and she was like 68.
Right. And like props to like, our parents' generation, they look better than their parents' generation. And our generation will probably, part of that is just like us understanding exercise and eating well and like living longer and all that.
Never being in the sun because we're inside all day.
That's right. Yeah. Like I get all that, but at the same time, it's really, really jarring when I look back at my grandpa. He passed away when I was 15 and I never knew him as anything but an old man.
But he was that old.
He was like 83 or 84 when he died. So like, my dad right now is in his getting into his late 70s, and he looks like he's my grandpa did in his 40s,
Not even Tom Cruise is immune to this stuff. I thought if one person could be immune to it, it would be Tom Cruise, just because he takes care of himself in such like a maniacal way. But I saw him at the Super Bowl, or not, I didn't see him. I saw him during the broadcast of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize, I felt like he was unrecognizable. And because of all the surgery, Sylvester Stallone, it looks like a wax figure. This is a it's really
but then here's the problem. If you go and you read the comments of some of like the, like some celebrity who just looks different, right, who looks different than they did 20 or 30 years ago, people are all like, what happened?
I know.
They aged.
They got old.
That's what happened.
It's been 3 decades. What did you expect?
Right.
What did you do? You won't believe what she looks like now. I will believe it because it's been 38 years since I've seen her on TV.
Right. It's actually more screwed up when they look the exact same, guys.
It's so much worse when I see Jennifer Aniston and she looks like she could be on Friends in Clinton era. Sorry to get political.
All right, we need to end it on that. Denny, let everyone know where they can find you and all your work.
You can find me on Blue Sky, and you can find all my work on rotoworld.com. Check out the Rotoworld Football Show with me, Pat Daugherty, and Kyle Dvorak, who recently was on with JJ.
That's right. I had a great time with Kyle. It was a good time.
Great
yeah, great dude. We had the realization that we had only had lunch together in real life and we never podcasted together.
No, really?
How often does that happen in the fantasy space where you
That's
know
funny.
each other in real life and have like dined together, but you've never podcasted together?
Never. Wow.
Never. Yeah, it's like it's in reverse. You can find all my stuff over on lateround.com, Late Round Podcasts, all that good stuff. Denny, we spent a little bit more time this week, but I think it was necessary to get those takes off of our chest.
We had to. We have 50 fantasy takes a week. We needed a few cultural takes.
That's right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you for listening to Living the Stream. We hope you enjoyed the internet podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes now. It won't take long, it's fast. For more fantasy football info, check out
LateRound.com and RotoWorld.
Hope you come back soon as we share about the teams and as we live in the stream.